Hi everyone, today I'll show you how to use the git clone command in Google Colab. Let's dive right in. GitHub is a version control system that allows you to track changes in your code and collaborate with others. Git repositories can be hosted and shared on GitHub. By cloning a repository into Google Colab, users can modify, run and experiment with code that is already hosted on GitHub, making it ideal for developers, data scientists, or students working on coding projects. So how do you use the git clone command? Start by visiting Google Colab using your browser. Colab is an online platform provided by Google, offering a cloud-based environment for writing and executing Python code. Once you're on the website, click on New Notebook to create a fresh working space. Google Colab comes pre-installed with Git, but it's always good practice to check if Git is correctly installed and accessible. Just type in !git --version. Now go to GitHub and find the repository you want to work with. Click on Code and copy the URL of the repository. It should look something like this. In Google Colab, use the git clone command to clone the repository. Git clone is the command that downloads the entire repository, including all files, branches, and version history. Once the command is executed, you'll see the download progress of the repository. Once the cloning process is complete, the repository will be downloaded into the current Colab session. You can navigate into the cloned repository using the following cd command. The cd command is used to change directories in the Colab environment, allowing you to access and work with folders of the cloned repository. If you want to show all the files in the repository, just type in !ls. This will show you all the files and folders available. Google Colab has memory and storage limitations. Cloning a large repository might fill up the available space, leading to performance issues. Before cloning, check the repository size on GitHub. If the repository is too large, you might get an error or slow performance, and consider cloning only a specific branch or directory. If you're modifying the cloned repository and want to keep track of your changes, make sure to fork the repository on GitHub first, so you have your own copy to push back the changes. Keep in mind that Google Colab sessions do not persist after the runtime ends, so if you want to keep any changes you've made in the cloned repository, you'll need to push those changes back to GitHub, or download the modified files to your local machine. Colab automatically disconnects after a period of inactivity, or when session limits are reached. Save your work regularly and download important files or push changes to your own GitHub repository. Sometimes cloning private repositories will result in a permission denied error. Ensure the repository is public or that you're authorized to access it. For private repositories, you'll need to authenticate using a GitHub personal access token instead of a password. If you're working on large projects, it's often more efficient to clone just a specific branch rather than the entire repository. You can do this by adding the -b flag and the branch name before your GitHub address. After cloning a repository, ensure you install all necessary dependencies. For longer projects, mount your Google Drive to Colab to store cloned repositories permanently. We have a video on that too.
Thanks for watching. If this video was helpful, please like and subscribe to our channel for more tips and tutorials.